Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Undersecretary Fordyce, for being here today to testify. I want to start by giving credit and thanks to the hardest working people that I know. You know, in my district, the sun rose this morning at 5:20, and farmers in Illinois were up to see it. There's more work to be done after supper, and many in farm country are just finishing up the day's work when the last light slips below the western horizon at 9:20 in the evening. Farmers want to succeed by using their talents and their know-how, not by cashing a check when the White House feels it's necessary. They want certainty in their jobs, and they want resiliency when disaster strikes. It doesn't take a meteorologist to tell you that Illinois now leads the nation in tornado touchdowns here this year. And many of those have occurred in farm fields and farm country and small hometowns in Illinois, across Mr. Bost, Ms. Miller, Ms. Budzinski's, and my district. Mr. Undersecretary, you oversee vital programs like crop insurance, and I appreciate your attention to making this work for them. You also oversee conservation funding at NRCS, which is essential to keeping our farmland resilient for the next growing season and the next generation. You know, I agree with our ranking member that we should be heralding a bipartisan 5-year farm bill that would yield certainty, even in the face of a failure by an administration. Instead, the GOP's H.R. 1 is being paid for by funds taken from hungry people and cutting vital programs in Middle America. Now, I believe in fiscal responsibility, but taking funding from vulnerable families is not how we should be budgeting the most important agricultural programs. But let's get on to my questions. H.R. 1 included an expanded subsidy for administrative and operating costs for states with high loss ratios, which disproportionately benefits southern crop growers. And I want to follow up from my friend from South Dakota's question. Is the agency considering further relief for Midwestern states with very low loss ratios? As you know, productive farmers like those in my district tend to overpay to offset losses in other regions.
That is a great question, and it is actually very timely. The Risk Management Agency from time to time does rating studies. We just have received a rating study to look at that very thing. When I travel, I hear exactly what you have said. We haven't had time to necessarily, I think, 100% digest what that rating study looks like. But that is one of the things that RMA does do and conducts those rating studies.
Could you share that with our office?
Is that at some point? Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. You know, I want to move on to conservation. 2,400 people lost their jobs at NRCS in 2025, one of the hardest hit agencies at the USDA. We lost 20% of our NRCS workforce in the land of Lincoln, putting even more strain on farmers who need assistance improving their soil health. Is there a plan to meet the needs here? Because nowadays, you know, it seems like all my constituents here, when they want to call and get a solution to a problem, is your call is very important to us, stay on the line. Shouldn't we be making sure that we have the workforce to meet the demand here?
I do think that is critical, and I've indicated a couple of times that NRCS is advertising, is hiring positions, not only at the local level, but also in those critical areas of engineers and archaeologists and other positions that help that agency move those practices forward.
So help me understand. So last year we had 78 NRCS folks working for farmers directly in Illinois. In your budget for next year, fiscal year 2027, there's 5 in the entire state of Illinois. Agriculture is the #1 driver of our economy in Illinois. So how can the USDA expect that to work?
So Congressman, can you repeat that, the numbers?
That we're cutting down from the numbers of hundreds down to single digits.
So NRCS, and I don't know specifically on Illinois' hiring plan, but we are, as an agency, planning to hire up to 9,500, which if we spread that out across the country, I would think that Illinois would have a positive number. So I don't know.
Let's manifest that.
I would like to visit more with you or your staff about what that number looks like.
Thank you. When we talk about modernizing our agency, I hope that there is that focus on what we are doing for those farm families that are hurting today. Mr. Undersecretary, thanks for being here today. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Now recognize Mr. Fenton.